It's the end of November and Christmas lights are in full swing everywhere. So I thought I add some lights to my van too. From a previous project I have this LED rope light left over and I thought it would look nice if I put that on the underside of the bench seat table. As you can see, this area is very dark, so adding some lights would make a nice indirect light in this whole area here.
Well, and here I forgot to turn on the microphone. I guess I'm explaining that I just don't want to glue the light strip to the back of the table, and instead I want to route a little groove along the side and then press the light into that groove so it sits a little proud of the surface of the table, but not much. And in order to do that, I need a bunch of these wooden thingies here, these wooden squares. So I'm showing you in a second how I made them and what I use them for. Well, I cut them from this piece of old shelf material. First, I cut it into 1-inch long strips, a whole bunch of them. And then I cut the strips into cubes, basically 1 inch by 1 inch, and they're a little less than 3/4 thick.
So that's a lot of clamping force. The table won't move a bit now. And now for the second step. I have this piece of flexible, relatively thin PVC. I don't even know where this is from, but I can secure that in place with another round of these blocks to the outside. And with that, I have a nice guide for my router. So I can now run it along this PVC trim and get a groove, a dado, relatively close to the edge of the table, about 1 inch from the edge.
Something about it made my heart beat slow, just like a Sunday on a gravel road. I don't know why she soothes my soul. It felt familiar when she walked in, like she stepped into.
Well, it is not perfect. Here's a little bump and there's another one over there, but for the light it should be good enough. It fits in nicely. It's not totally flush, so the light sticks out about maybe 2 millimeters above the surface of the table, but it is held in place just fine. And yeah, I think that's gonna work. The rope light has these tiny little soldering points every couple of inches. So I expose these two, and now I need to solder a cable onto them. And I think it's a good enough friction fit, and I can just press it in place without any adhesives. I just want to add a little bit of hot glue here where the cable is attached and into this channel, mostly as a strain relief for the cable. Let's do a quick test. Yep, works. At 13 volts it draws about 2 amps. Back in the van, I now need to get power from underneath the bench seat into the leg of the table, and then I can connect it to the light. I'm going to route the cable from here into here and then to over there. And here it is. I'm going to put a relay in here so I can keep the higher current on this side and then only run a relatively small wire to my switch over here. Now for the interesting part. I need to run a wire from this area under the bench seat to over here where the switches are. And well, the best route I think is underneath the floor from under the shower over to under the sink. Luckily, this is exactly where Winnebago installed the water lines between the sink area and the shower area, and there's also 2 other cables running across the floor there. So there's a little bit of space around those pipes and wires, and I was able to stick a copper wire through, and now I can attach my actual cable to the copper wire and then hopefully pull it through. This here is the end of my copper wire, and this is where I'm going to attach the cable to and then pull it through to the other side. And I also attached a string, like a pull string, which I'm pulling through as well, and I leave that in place. Should I ever want to run a new cable, an additional one, I can just pull it through with this piece of string, hopefully. And here under the shower is the other side of that copper wire right here. So hopefully I can pull on this side and get it through from this side. Well, that worked. I'm out on the other side. Awesome. Now I can wire up the switch and I can easily get to it from here, from when I have this drawer removed. The red one goes to the green one, which is power input into the switch. And then the black one is power output from the switch. So when the switch is closed, then it sends power back on the black wire into the relay. And then the black one is ground for the LED that is inside of the switch. And I need to connect that to any of the ground wires that I have in this massive cable mess here under the countertop. Now I need to connect the wire to the fuse panel. And I still have, I think, 2 or 3 open positions here. So I pull that out slightly, and I have to remember how to do that. Oh wow, this is always such a struggle, but I have the cables connected. On the ground side, I've connected these 2, and then on the other side, well, you can't see that from there, but I connected it to position number 11. And now I can put that back in place. And I made this extension cable that goes through the leg of the table. I can unplug it, and then the upper part folds nicely into the top bracket and the bottom part folds nicely, well, into the bottom bracket without any messy cable in the way. And with that, let's turn it on. I really like it. It has a very nice, warm and indirect glow, and I think this is now my favorite light here in the van. As an added bonus, I now have a light for whenever I need to do work under the bench seat. Well, and that's it. That's all I had for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.